third generation in this business of getting this kind of equipment, industrial equipment. Basically said that with this machine, he will, if we decide to buy it, he'll go over it one more time and see if there's any problems. Like now I'm getting a squeak, I'm guessing it's some wheel or something just needs to be lubed up. But this is hard to get off. It's supposed to pop on and off. But you almost have to just, usually a pair of gloves would probably be better. But this will actually turn, this weight discs, or we might be able to find a way to pry it off. But when you put the pad on, you pop this off, you put the pad on, and then this pushes right in. Rather than a screw thing, it's got those ridges that'll catch. But getting it off is a little bit difficult.
So it's a press fit.
Yep. And if you come over and look at this side of the pad, look how clean that is. Compared to how much white we're already getting on this pad. This is going to take a lot. I mean, it's that thick. It's going to take a lot up in it. It's got a dust. That's what this is. This sucks the dust up to another filter that doesn't get caught up in the brush, so you're not putting dust out on the floor. But I had done some in the sanctuary when we first got it because Bridge Club was here. So I just spent about 5-10 minutes in there just getting around things to see what it would do. And looks pretty amazing. So if you want to try it.
What's the difference between, now this is a used one?
Yep.
So the option is either get a used one or a new one?
We have 3 options. We can get ours fixed for about $150 to $175. It doesn't have this wheel on. It's not quite as fast, but it's a high-speed machine. And he'll do the bearings. That'll include the bearings being redone and all kinds of stuff. He doesn't know this machine, but he came over. He brought it over to me today, and we went in the sanctuary together, and it was making a noise, and we did an adjustment. I think there's a balancer on this disc that holds it on. It's got like real sharp plastic pieces that hold the pad on. There's weights underneath it on one side that keeps it balanced. If you imagine 2,300 RPMs is a lot of, it's really spinning. So they evidently have some kind of balancing weights on here when they manufacture it to make sure that it's done right. But it looked like we might have had it too close to the floor, and it was just those things. Every once in a while, if I put a little too much weight on it, it would click. And you could tell it was a clicking. It could have been even this dust cover clicking against something. But we got that stopped right away, and I've been running it this whole time, and it runs fairly smooth.
So how do we know how to adjust to the floor?
Well, there's a couple adjustments you can make, and basically you're gonna learn. There's a manual that I have in the other room that came with it. You can do some reading. But we can decrease the pressure by turning this, or you can increase the pressure by going this way. That's all there is.
But
that raises and lowers it. Well, you set it and you run it. If you're satisfied with the way it's buffing, that's fine. The other thing you look at is over here is a dial. It's a meter, rather. It's a meter like you'd see on a radio control board. There's a red area. If that needle gets in the red area, it's drawing too many amps. That means it's probably too close to the floor, too tight, and you got to open it up a little bit, or you're holding it or driving into it too much. Because it pretty much goes by itself, other than when you're turning, you got to push a little bit. Just like a mower, you get it going and it just goes. So the RPMs is, and it doesn't want to pull side to side. It's nicely balanced. So, and that's it. And it's got a reset on it. So if the motor does seize up, you just let it cool for a little bit and hit the reset button.
So now, what does this one cost?
This one we get for $300, and he'll give us at least $100 on the old one. So we can get this one or ours fixed for the same price. But according to Peter, ours doesn't work very easily. It doesn't have that other wheel, and if you look at it, the wheels are about half the size. So again, just like a mower, the taller wheels, and having a third wheel on there makes it a whole lot better to control. And this is 300 RPMs faster. The ones that if we could buy a new one, we'll get a 5-year warranty. But if you want one like this, we're looking at $2,000. If you want one at 1,500 RPMs, you're looking at about $15,000 or $1,500. And the cheap end at 175 RPMs, which you can supposedly strip the floor with it, but it won't buff anything like this because it's turning about 1/9 or 1/10 of the speed this one does. And those are we can get something for around $700–800. So I mean, I want everybody to try it, make the decision, but personally, for $300, if we can get the rest of this year out of it, we're not hurting anything, you know, as opposed to going out, we spent so much money last year to go out and spend $2,000 on a new machine just so we have a warranty. I'm not sure is the best move, but I think everybody's got to express their opinion. It's important that you use it. I don't expect you to do the floor tonight. I'll do this floor for you. But if you want to try it and see how you feel about it, whether that's now or later on, I'll stay here for a couple hours and work on the floor. So.
Okay, one more question.
Yep.
Now, the guy that did the floor the other day.
Yep.
Okay, I forget.
Enrique.
Enrique?
Yep.
Okay. Well, he was explaining to Peter, who kind of translated it out to me, that when you go to do the floor, the first thing you have to do is strip it. And he had a machine that he brought.
Yep.
Can this machine do the same thing with a different pad?
No, you don't. That's why. The higher RPM you can't do. But you can rent a stripping machine, and we only strip it once, at the most twice a year. So to me, you can go out to Home Depot and rent something for $50, or even $100 and just get the floor stripper. You pay somebody and say, we're going to buff it ourselves, but come in and strip it down. But this will burnish, and that's what you do. You basically put a coat of stuff on, you let it sit as long as you're supposed to, and you go over it, buff it up, and you put another coat on, and you know, I don't even know if he went over it after each application. I have to ask Peter. I didn't pay that close of attention. I wasn't here for that part of the demonstration. I was in the other room working, so I don't know what. But
when I watched them, they were just putting it down. I didn't see anybody go back and
maybe that's all I did.
I don't think they buffed it this time. They were talking about that, and because he only had one machine.
Okay, so
the machine he had was
that was more of a
stripper kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's he rented it. We paid for the rental for that machine this time. We just paid Enrique to come and do it and show us how to do what he was doing. So from my standpoint, I wouldn't want to get a machine that does both, because if you get one that's high quality, it's probably going to cost twice what a new one like this would cost, because you got to have some kind of way of controlling the RPMs. You can't do 2,000 RPMs to strip a floor. You'll rip right into the tile. If you get the right pad that'll rip this stuff off, it'll go right into the tile. So you need that's where that slower RPM is really good. You get the right pads on that, and that'll slowly strip it. But I think there's better floor strippers that are just meant to strip floors that you can buy, and it's a lot safer. It's almost like sanding machines, but it's meant to strip the top coats off of this. But anybody wants to try it, that's why I wanted to make sure.
Because in the back there, where they had that machine setup thing for the liquids, there was a liquid called the burnisher kind of thing. Now, is that something that, like, the day that we're gonna do this, if you take the regular floor thing and just put some of that in there first to go around?
Or after, I don't know. I would ask. I don't know that much. That's where we got to talk to somebody who knows this kind of business to ask the right steps. Or we go online and see what we can find out. I can ask Ed. This isn't their primary line of work. He does a lot of other kind of industrial stuff, but they've done the cleaning equipment, the buffers and stuff, and they, you know, he's been doing industry in the area. But if you look at this, you can still see a few scuff marks from tables and stuff. But if you look at this and then go over there and look at how the floor's scuffed up, this is already doing a heck of a job. But yeah, certainly if it might be you do what I'm doing now, and then you put that burnishing stuff on and go over it with the cleaning machine, and it'll bring it right back to where it was and cover those scuff marks that didn't come up. I don't know.
They were supposed to come with the people that sold us the floor scrubber. They were supposed to come and set that thing up at one point, and they never did.
Yeah, we need to call them back then. They got enough money for that. They should come back and service it. But I'd say going forward, this guy, I
don't think we paid him for it. The only thing that they tried to do, they were going to sell us the chemicals.
Oh.
So they, all of a sudden one day when Lester went to go pick up an order for me, came back and he goes, they gave me what you ordered, he says, and then they gave me this. And it was like 3 jugs of cleaner. And the 3 jugs of cleaner came out to like $196 or some crazy money like that. So,
well, we can read it and see what it says. And if it says it's safe for the finish and, you know, once a quarter we need to put that on and do it,